Hello and welcome back to the Crash MotoGP YouTube channel, and today we are going to look at the most impressive riders and the most disappointing riders in the 2023 MotoGP season so far. I feel like we've actually never really introduced ourselves to each other. You might hear my voice in videos, or you might see me in videos I've done in the past few years. My name is Jordan. I am the social media manager for the Crash MotoGP and F1 social media channels, so anything you see on there, that's all my work. I also have done plenty of videos over the past 2 years on this channel, and I just thought for anyone new around here, that's me. Now that's out the way, let's get into this video. It's quite simple. If you've seen these videos on YouTube, everyone has pretty much done them. It's a tier list. As you can see on screen, we have the riders from this season, and it's going to go from A star all the way down to D grade. So without further ado, let's go ahead. So the first rider we have is Johann Zarco. Now Zarco is currently 4th in the World Championship. I think he's had a fantastic season, and I will put him in an A grade. Now the reason he doesn't get A plus or A star, it's Frank. He hasn't won a race. Still hasn't won a race in MotoGP. The last time he won a race was Malaysia 2016 in Moto2. So it's been a while for Johann, but I do think it's his best chance, especially with sprint races. However, his Grand Prix results are stronger than his actual sprint results. So will he get a result this year in a sprint race? I don't think so. It's more of a Grand Prix. He's looking to get that win. I think his first win will be a Grand Prix, put it that way. Joan Mir, now it has been a disastrous year for Honda in general, but I think Joan Mir can only go in D grade. I mean, he scored 5 points so far. He's had injury. He just hasn't gelled with that Honda how I thought he would. It looked okay in testing, but then testing's testing, and things change so much when it gets to a Grand Prix weekend. He gets a D grade. I think we'll see many Honda riders in this category. Luca Marini, I'm going to go B. A solid improvement compared to 2022. I think he's came on a lot. His race pace still disappoints the odd time. He gets stronger at the end of a race, but when he drops off at the start, I think if he learns to deal with a full fuel tank, and especially his qualifying results have been very solid. He's always in and around that top 5, top 6. If he can manage the qualifying and put it together at the start of a race, he could challenge for more podiums, and if not, a victory, who knows. His teammate Marco Bezzecchi, he's going to go an A star for me. I think he has been arguably the rider of the season in terms of improvement. He has shown plenty of promise at the back end of last season, but he has just gelled everything together, and he has learned to just, become the complete MotoGP package, which is fantastic to see. Interested to see how he's going to go until the end of the season. Will he keep this up? Who knows. Frankie Morbidelli, it's difficult with Morbidelli. I think that Yamaha in general just struggle. He goes in between a C. I think he's actually improved quite a lot. You know, he struggled so much in 21, 22. I think he's actually got reasonable pace. I think Assen was the only race he didn't finish inside the points, and I think he was the only rider to finish all the races in the points up until then. So he has proven that he can actually challenge Fabio Quartararo, and he's actually beaten him on a few occasions too. So Morbidelli, a solid improver, but not what Yamaha want, not what he wants. Who knows where his future lies in 2024. ALEIX Marquez. Now the younger Marquez brother. It's between a C and a B. I think I'll go B because he did get a podium this year, and he has got a pole position as well. Just a few inconsistencies with ALEIX. He crashes out of good positions, and maybe it's because he's not used to being up there in MotoGP, because he was on the Honda. You know, he had them 2 great podiums as a rookie on the Honda, but then everything kind of just dropped off. He is on the title winning bike from last year, and I think he can keep improving, but he's in between a B and a C. But for the benefit of the doubt, because he got a podium, we'll give him a B grade. Now Enea Bastianini is a tough one, because I think that Enea he would be in the A category if he had a normal start to the year, but as we know, he got injured at the start of the season, in that crash in the sprint race with Luca Marini. It's hard to put him. Do you know what? Just to be fair, I would put him in C because we don't know what he can do. He's coming back from injury. He's shown some promising results, but yeah, I would love to have seen him fully fit at the start of the season and challenging his teammate. Maverick Vinales, for me, again, if there was like a C and D category, I would put Maverick in between. He's been so disappointing in my opinion. He's had so much pace, but he just can't convert. So I think I'll put him in the D category just to be controversial. I think that Maverick just needs to make us known that his talents can be shown on race day. He has the perfect package, and I think that he's not delivering on that. And he could win races on it. I think Assen was a big opportunity for him. He didn't take it. But Maverick does get stronger in the tracks that we're going to next. So this could all come back and bite me squarely where I don't want it to. So yeah, we'll see what Maverick can do in the next few rounds. Jorge Martin, I'm going to go A star. I think he's in that top category. He has just delivered on what I said, I think in a video at the start of the year. If he could deliver more consistency and stop crashing out of races, we would see a massive improvement. And we have seen that. Fantastic from him. I think he's going to take this title all the way to the last round with Bagnaia. But we'll just have to wait and see. Brad Binder, A star. I think it's quite clear that I'm quite a Brad Binder fan if you've seen previous videos. I think he's one of the most talented riders in MotoGP, if not in the top 2-3. His natural feel on the brakes, how he rides a MotoGP bike is so different to the many on the grid. And for him to win sprint races this year, to challenge for Grand Prix victories, he's in the title fight just about, but what he's done with the KTM this year has been fantastic, I think. He's been so impressive. RAUL Fernandez, I'm going to go D. I think the hype that he had coming into MotoGP, he didn't really like the KTM last year. And moving to Aprilia machinery, which I thought would be a big beneficiary to him, yeah, just hasn't worked out. And I'm starting to actually question if he actually deserves a spot in MotoGP. You know, was that move up from Moto 2 too soon? Was that season he had too good? You know, I don't know. I'm not here to judge talent, of course. I mean, I'm got no talent at all on a MotoGP bike or on any bike at all. But yeah, I think Fernandez has been very disappointing this year, and I expected more. Miguel Oliveira gets a C. Just unlucky. That's the best way of putting it. Miguel obviously had the incident at the start of the year with Marc Marquez. It was very expected of him to come in straight away and challenge. I think he did show himself very well in testing on the opening rounds, but he just hasn't had any luck. He got took out by Fabio Quartararo at Jerez. Injury, bike problems, just not great, is it? It's just, hopefully he has a better second half of the season. Same for Pecco Bagnaia. Haven't seen anything from Pole. He had that crash in practice. He's only going to go on the D because we don't know. He had that horrific crash, and thankfully, hopefully we should see Pole back at Silverstone. And yeah, wish him all the best for the second half of the season. Hopefully he can challenge for the points. ALEIX Espargaro, a C grade for me. Hasn't really kicked on from where he was last year. Aprilia has struggled in certain areas, but I think it's a better bike than it was last year. He got the podium in Assen. I think he'll steadily just keep improving. Pecco Bagnaia gets an A star for me. He has been by far the standout rider this year. Fantastic consistency. Yes, we had a few crashes at Argentina and Austin, and then he got took out by Vinales, but he's kicked on from that. He hasn't let it even remotely enter his brain. He is clearly the favourite for this world title, and I think he will win the title, but I think Jorge Martin, like I said, will challenge him as well. ALEIX Rins, do you know what? I'm going to go B grade for ALEIX Rins because he's won on the Honda this year around Austin, and I think that he has just, again, the Honda is such a terrible bike. He's got injured from it, and it's not really a true reflection of how hard he's pushing. You know, every Honda rider's had crashes this year. But the fact that Rins has won the only race outside of Ducati, in a Grand Prix that is remarkable. And there's rumours about Rins' future. We'll keep that for another video. But I think he's been really impressive this year, and I think he adapted a lot quicker to the Honda than, say, Joan Mir did. So yeah, quite impressive. Fabio Giannatonio. It's hard with Digi. I think he hasn't really done much that stood out to me. He's done well. I'm just going to go D, because I don't think he'll be in MotoGP next year. I think that he'll be replaced by who, I don't know. An interesting seat, that one at Gresini. But Digi, I think, has been solid. I don't think he's done really anything wrong, but not anything that's stood out to me in his second year. Augusto Fernandez, I'm going to go a B grade. He is the rookie of the year, partly because he's the only rookie, but the ride he had at, I think it was Le Mans, yeah, he was inside the top 5. Just incredible. His pace of, you know, just being able to adapt to MotoGP is far better than what we've seen from Raul Fernandez last year on a KTM. And yeah, Augusto was quite impressive, and the fact that there's the rumours with the Acosta seat and how everything has went there, pretty impressive from Augusto, and I think that he deserves to stay in MotoGP for another season. And now I look at the next one, Marc Marquez. Where do you put him? I'm going to go C, because the qualifying results he had on the Honda when he has raced, from up until Sachsenring, he hadn't missed the front row. Yes, he hasn't finished a Grand Prix, but to put a Honda on the front row is just mind-blowing. You know, people say it's because of toe-in, it's because of this. To do a lap and not crash in qualifying and put it in the front row, especially how far off the Honda is compared to everything else, pretty incredible, pretty special. And yeah, Mark will get a C grade. Where he's going to be next year, I have no idea. This is one of those things. Don't know. Jack Miller, get a B grade. He's adapted to the KTM a lot better than many have thought. Yeah, and I think that he's been quietly impressive. Just had a few DNFs, a bit like what happened when he was on a Ducati. Just the inconsistency, but the fact that KTM has improved as a package a lot, and there's 2 KTMs we see at the front now. Pretty impressive from them, and Jack to just jump on and adapt. Nakagami gets a C grade. I think he's actually been okay on the Honda. He's been quietly going about his business. You know, he still had many crashes, but yeah, Taka just delivers points. Like, it might not be the top end of the points, but he just gets in the points in that 10th to 15th range, and he just does a solid job. He's riding around the bike where it should be, its position wise. Yeah, Fabio Quartararo, I'm going to go C grade. It's a bit like the Morbidelli thing. The Yamaha is not great, but Quartararo's made a few mistakes as well. He's crashed in a lot of the sprint races, a lot of DNFs. He crashed out in Assen the last round as well. Just inconsistency. And I know the bikes are limiting these riders of what they can do because they're not a Ducati, but it's just not been the start of the year that he would have wanted. Hopefully he can improve and build on the second half of the season. And finally, Dani Pedrosa, A star. To come back at Jerez as a wild card, I mean, he led practice, and I think we all went into a meltdown of how good it was. But yeah, Pedrosa has been fantastic. I think that we're going to get to see him again in another round of the Misano Grand Prix. Can't wait for that. It's going to be so exciting to see Danny back. Wish he was on the grid full time, because I still think he can deliver a great job. The best test rider in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my list. Let me know if you agree with it. Now, not everyone will agree with this, of course, but I think I've got it down pretty well on where people should be. Like I say, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we will see you for the next video, and have a lovely week.